All right, welcome to Revolution Health. This is Dr. Jason Dean, and we are here to change the world, one person at a time if that's what it takes, but let's go global because it's not about just one healing modality, it's about across the world global healing. And today I have with me someone who I have been watching for some time, and anybody who's watching this right now recognizes that face. She is a Grammy Stunner. She is a Billboard hit artist. She is seen on Sean Hannity's show, Fox News. She's seen beside the president and the first daughter, and she's just amazing. I'm honored to have her here because she's so great, and the reason I have her here is she is literally going out there to change the world. So Joy Villa, thank you so much for being on. Welcome to the show.
Jason, thank you. It's great to be on your show. This is awesome. I've been watching your stuff for a while too, and you put out amazing awesome, inspirational content with a bit of education in there too, which is really important.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that, and the same for you. I watch you on Periscope. I check you out on Facebook Lives, all of your stuff and everything going on. And I first want to touch base because typically a lot of people are used to hearing this show and they want to hear about healing or body healing and different things like that. And that's great. That's my day job. However, this is about a revolution of all health, and that includes health freedom. That includes political freedom. That includes our human rights. That includes everything across the board. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to have you on so badly, is because you understand that, and that's actually what you're doing. So the first thing I want to touch base on is you have an immense, diverse cultural background. Tell us about that with your parents, and tell us a little bit about your story.
Well, I grew up in Santa Barbara and in New York. So Santa Barbara, California, which is a beach coast, a central coast. We call ourselves the Central Coast, 805 area code. So it's not LA, it's not Northern California, it's just right on the Central Coast. So I grew up in this very protected, beautiful area, and I always knew I wanted to be an artist. I always knew it. Since I was 5 years old, I started my first play, Christmas play. I played an angel, and I was bit. I knew that I wanted to be an entertainer for the rest of my life and be involved in creating that feeling of making people feel good and being on stage. So my parents, my dad, both my parents passed away, unfortunately, several years ago, but they were my biggest inspiration, and they still inspire me to this day. And my dad was a minister, a Christian minister, and he owned his own fundraising company. So he would fundraise for charities, and he was a minister. So we had our own home church, and he's of Italian descent, and his dad, so my grandpa, is from Argentina. So I have this very mixed background on that side. And then my mom, gospel singer, she was a model in the 70s and 80s, an actress as well. She came from Detroit, and she's African American, and her grandpa is full-blooded Choctaw, Native American. So then I've got that mix on my mom's side. So, and so I grew up, I have a brother and a sister, and I grew up just having this beautiful beach atmosphere where I was allowed to do theater, and I was homeschooled a few years, and then I'd be also in school, and just this very artistic, crazy kid. And then we moved to New York when I was 10, and that really shaped a lot of how I see the world. I consider myself kind of an East Coaster. Even though I've got a California vibe, I'm very much more East Coast in that I like to get things done and go after it, and then just don't beat around the bush. It's a yes or it's a no. It's never a maybe for me. It's okay, let me think about it for a minute, but I'm not going to take long to decide. I like to make quick decisions. I like to go for it, and I like to be very outspoken and bold. That's in my personality. And then we ended up moving back to Los Angeles, and then, I got into arts, and so now I live in Los Angeles now, but I've toured 35 countries.
That's so awesome. And you said your mom, you have some Native American on your side, and I actually love that because I am Native American basically 100% because both sides of my family are Native American. So I saw that about you, and I was like, that's fantastic. We have that in common.
That is awesome. What tribe?
It's in the Northeast in New York. I think it's more Cherokee, but I'm actually diving more into the research on it because we don't know enough about it in our family, and we have to I believe we have to embrace our heritage. And
definitely.
As we go forward, we're going to talk a little bit today about the political healing part of it, but we have to embrace our heritage because we are such a melting pot of a people. And if we embrace that more and then be our own people, that's how we grow. Would you agree?
Exactly. I agree. I mean, embracing it, but not using it as, like, I love the diversity of thought. You know, that's the thing. It's like, I want to be around people who are different than me, because that inspires me to grow. And it's not just different colors, but different thinking as well. That's something that's kind of left out of a lot of the mainstream media. You know, you'll have diversity of look sometimes, but I'm like, well, what about the diversity of thought? I want to hear what these people have to say. So I like to cultivate that where I go.
So true, so true. Now I'm going to go right after the big thing, because you hit the news big time. Was it last year, the 2017 Grammys? You walked out and you pulled off your little gown thing, and the dress came out, and it was Make America Great Again, and everything started there. Take us through a little bit of the mindset of how you even. I know you did some dresses before that were, very attention-getting, and you're very good at the promo and marketing attention. I love that.
Thank you.
Tell us what you were thinking and how you carried that out with the whole dress, because it blew everyone away.
Yeah, it really did. You know, well, I am a proud Trump supporter, and I've been very vocal about that. But I wasn't at that time. So I knew that I wanted to make a change, to do something positive and spark conversation and show support, for my political beliefs, while not alienating anybody else. So I had an idea. The dress designer actually had an idea. His name is Andre. And he said, what if you wore a Trump dress? Because we were just talking about, we always go over the ideas of dresses together. Like, what am I going to wear at the Grammys? It's always a big thing. It's a big fun thing to start the year off. And he said, would you wear a Trump dress? I said, oh yeah, 100%. And so he put the design together, and I approved it. And I ended up revealing it. I planned the whole execution to reveal it, because I went covered in a white outfit. There was so much hate out there, and there was so much disgusting mudslinging and people saying, let's blow up the White House and all this stuff. And I thought, this is so divisive and this is so ugly. I'm going to come out so strong in support for my president, who I voted for. And I like to be a little rebellious, so I didn't think it would really, I knew it would cause a stir, but I thought, what if they just ignore me? Like, what if nobody ever, what if I'm blacklisted forever from the Grammys? And I thought, what's the worst they can do? I'm an independent artist. That's really what I thought would happen. That's why I covered up until the end, because then they couldn't stop me. Security couldn't stop me. And I revealed my Make America Great Again dress with Trump on the back. And I shot to #1 on iTunes, on Amazon, on Billboard. I outsold artists like Adele, Beyonce, Lady Gaga, all of who had won Grammys that day. I outsold them. And it just catapulted me into a worldwide platform. Suddenly people were paying attention to what I had to say, and they were interested in me. And a lot of it was nasty. I mean, I did get threats on my life. I did get attacks. I got name called. I got racial slurs. I got everything. But it made me realize that standing up for what you believe in and doing it in a fabulous, over-the-top way, I love doing that. That's me. That's in my personality, and there's nothing I'd rather do. So now I've really used my platform and my voice to be an activist for the things I hold near and dear. And I always say I will respect anyone's beliefs. You don't have to agree with me politically or otherwise, but I want to foster communication. I want to start the conversation. Otherwise, no one's talking to each other. And I kept seeing that. People were not talking to each other in 2016.
Absolutely. And I really appreciate that, too, because from a standpoint of, natural healing, I'm in a world of natural health where some of the things we talk about isn't exactly the most popular or mainstream idea. So from a standpoint of, like you said, you don't necessarily have to agree with somebody to sit down and understand their perspective, where they're coming from, and then from there foster communication so we can just make things better than where they are right now. So that's fantastic. I love that message, and it's interesting because I think when you did that, and over the last couple of years now, people are coming out of the woodwork and starting to actually notice, I can say what I believe, and I won't be ostracized necessarily, because we are changing as a human race that way. So that's part due to you. That's fantastic.
Thank you. And I'm going to say you will be ostracized. You definitely will be attacked. But it's not the end of the world. They're not going to think about the most extreme bullying, what nasty words can they say to you? That's it. That's all they can do. They can threaten things, but no one's ever done it. And I don't believe they are going to do it, because all it is empty words, and all it is bullying. So you kind of expect that, a little bit of resistance, and then you just go, oh, that's all it is? Okay. So you're going to make an ugly tweet about me. Fine, I'm going to keep doing the things I'm doing. And the love that you receive is way more. So the noise is so quiet compared to the love that you get. So just to put that out there, and it makes you tougher, because now, like, people can say all kinds of things. Like, I don't care. I'm changing the world and I love it. And I have so many supporters, which I call my joy tribe, which let me know that I changed their lives. So that's why we do this. Right, Jason? That's why we do this. We
Absolutely.
Change people's lives.
I love your outlook on that. And now, transitioning, you followed up this year with another dress, and it was basically a pro-life dress. Give us a little background on that and why you chose that.
Yeah, so I am proudly pro-life. So I shared this on Fox News in an article and on going in the studio. But I had a crisis pregnancy when I was 20 years old, and I was in an abusive relationship. I found myself pregnant. I didn't know what to do. The contraception had failed. It was one of those situations that was just like, what am I going to do? And I knew that I wasn't able to raise the child myself, And so, but I also knew that abortion would never be okay for me. And I was pressured to get an abortion by the nurse who gave me the pregnancy test. She's like, go ahead, get an abortion. It's fine. I've had several. It's okay. I was shocked, because I'm like, here's a woman who's not even giving me an option, who's supposedly pro-choice. So at that moment, I felt like I didn't know what to do. And then I found out an adoption agency. So I gave my child up for adoption. I adopted her out through the help of this agency, who was incredible. They were incredibly caring and loving, and it's an open adoption. So I speak to her today. She knows who she is. She knows who I am. She calls me Mama Joy. I see her. There's like full contact. It's a beautiful thing. Like, it's added so much love and life to my life. I have an extended family, and her adopted parents are incredible as well. So I decided to come forward with that and just be straightforward and tell people, because I thought it was very painful when it happened, and now I'm on the other side, and it's a beautiful thing. And I want women and men to know that you can choose life, and you can be pro-life, and it can be something gorgeous. And I believe it's a human right. I believe all life deserves rights, the right to life. Like, everyone deserves a chance to live. So for me, that's what the dress was about. And this time I created the dress on my own. I painted it myself, actually, the night before the Grammys. And my purse, I painted as well to say choose life. So that was it was a wedding gown that I customized myself.
I love how you've taken something that the average person may look at as basically a crisis, and you turned it completely around, and you saw the positive in it. And then you're preaching the positive, which not only is helping other people, but it's also healing not only to you, but to other people. Like, they can literally, not like tag on to you and go, wow, she's been through something that maybe I've been through. And that's profoundly healing for you. And for that.
Thank you. Exactly. And that's what it's about. It's about healing, because it's a hard decision no matter what you do. But pushing everyone towards life, knowing that baby's life matters, your life matters, that you can have an alternate parenting lifestyle. Maybe it's not what you decided that you thought you'd want, but everyone gets life. And knowing that, mothers come in all different shapes and sizes and styles, and I am a birth mother, and I'm proud of that. I'm also a stepmom. I'm proud of that. I have 3 stepkids, and one is 14. So, it's just, my life is full of love now, and I chose to have that love, that life, and I choose to look at the hardships as something that will lead me to the future. Every hardship, every challenge, you can say, well, what's going to be, what can I do to make this the right choice? What can I do to make this a good thing in my life, rather than, oh, it's over, game over, this is horrible. It's all how you look at it, because we all go through pain and suffering, but how we deal with that and how much responsibility we're going to take for that, that changes from happy to sad, right? Those are happy people and sad people. Happy people don't not go through pain. We just deal with it in a way that says we're going to move forward. We're not going to be scarred by it, and we're going to use this as a chance to grow. And I really want to help other people grow as well by sharing my story. I'll be sharing my story in D.C. as well at the Faith and Freedom Coalition next week.
Absolutely, yeah, and I wanted to touch on that obviously, and then also you sang for the president. You've been on the President's Advisory Council. You're on the March for Rights, and then the Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life Gala. So you have literally gotten yourself completely involved and intertwined into literally our daily political world and with the president and with Ivanka Trump. Give us an idea, like I know you can only probably say so much, but give us an idea on how that's worked out for you and what you've been able to accomplish for your purpose and message going forward with all this stuff now that you're kind of on the inside and have this bigger voice.
Well, it's an incredible thing because I always know I want to help people. And, I love the president. I love what he's doing. I love what this administration's doing. And Ivanka, she's incredible. She's been traveling around the world, speaking on behalf of women's rights, children's rights, human rights, like all around the world. So she's really become an ambassador for America to everywhere. And she's such a sweet and real person. She's very enthusiastic and she really wants to help. So being able to have her as a friend, as an ally is really incredible. And of course, being able to say, hey, let's look at this. Let's look at what the psych industry is doing to our veterans. Let's look at what is happening here. Let's look at solutions to these problems. Let's solve it. Let's look at why there's so much pain and suffering in the ghettos and the inner cities and the black neighborhoods. Let's solve that. Let's go in with the way to happiness. Let's go in and stop the violence and the gangs and get people off of welfare around the world and get into jobs. So I have a seat at the table. It's a small seat, but my voice is being heard, and I'm incredibly grateful for that, and I will never stop doing that because it really ties into my overall world goal, my overall life goal, which is to help and heal the world. And America is a big part of that because that's my home country. I love America. I love what we're doing. We're the greatest country in the world.
Absolutely beautiful. And it's actually funny, before I came into this interview, one of my staff members said, because I asked her, I said, give me a question. Like, what would you ask a Billboard hit singer? And she said, this is I'm going to give you the question she gave me. She said, where do you find the time and how did you tap into a purpose like that? So I have to ask you that question. One, how do you find the time, Joy? Because you are amazing and you're all over the place. And just a snapshot, like a tip for people. You're tapping into a purpose. How do people tap into a purpose like that?
Ooh, that's a beautiful question. Tapping into your purpose. I really believe it comes from looking into yourself and deciding, what do I really want? If everything could be exactly the way I wanted it. Like not, I would have money or I'd have a Maserati. That's not really what you want. What makes you happy? What makes you tick? What gives you the absolute joy? And it might be like, well, I just love playing with kids. I love being around kids. That could be your purpose. You follow that. You go, well, what could I do with kids? And you go, oh my gosh, and I'm an artist as well. I could sing with kids or whatever. You kind of have to follow that until you find a business that can work around your purpose, and you make that purpose your job. You make your purpose your business, instead of the opposite, where you get a job and then your purpose is kind of a hobby. I feel like people think, art. I'm a mom, or I do arts and crafts on the side, but I work in a day job. But what are you? Well, I'm an artist. There you go. So I always like to get people to admit, well, what are you really? Tell yourself you're an artist, or you're a healer, or you're a speaker, or you're whatever, you're a performer. So really, it's you have to validate yourself because no one's going to do it for you. So journal, write, put some attention and time into discovering who you really are and what makes you happy, what makes you tick, and then go for it. Make that your job. Start a business based around that. I think that would be the best advice I could give. That's what I've done.
It's you are the person, and then you did something about it, and that's now you're becoming this giant, literal rock star, but also but also rock star. Just you, Joy. I literally see you as becoming this global healer because that's what you're doing. Is you're literally you're putting this frequency out there that people are picking up on, and people are being. And it helps, obviously, that you're such a cultural, diverse background. And your husband has a great beard, by the way. I know he's from Denmark.
Yeah.
But you're surrounded by this huge background. And on top of that, you're dealing with human rights groups now. You're actually literally going out there and helping people find their human rights through different types of organizations. Give me a little background on some of the things you're doing, because I know you're involved a little bit into the human trafficking world as well. Give me some of the just background on some of these different organizations, groups you're involved with that is helping people literally heal at a global level.
Absolutely. So I'm working with Underground Railroad. The people might have it's one of the organizations that they work with by getting, human trafficking victims outside of countries and getting them to safe places. And I'm also working with the Way to Happiness, which is just providing a non-religious moral code throughout the world, and it's a beautiful organization. And I'm working with the Peace Rides, where we use the Way to Happiness to elicit communication between gangs and inner city violence and crime, especially in Los Angeles. So we've got Minister Tony Muhammad there. We even had The Game and Snoop Dogg come out, and just all these rival gangs are actually having communication and talking. And so that's really something important to me, to go into my community, the Black community, but also to go into to opening wide open what is happening with child trafficking and all these things that are going on. Like, we got Backpage. This was this horrible child trafficking site. It was like an online classified, but they were using it to traffic children. And we got that shut down. So I'm working with those groups that are doing it. I can't say it's all me, but I flow power and time and energy as much as I can to those groups, as well as helping out after the hurricanes happened last year. I volunteered. I went down to Houston and Florida and helping out with that. So it's something, anywhere I can put my help, anywhere I could put my energy towards, whatever the emergency situation is, I want to be there, and I want to use my platform so that other people know what to do. Because usually when you have an emergency or a crisis, they go, well, what can I do? So I'd like to say, here's where you can donate, or here's where you can volunteer. And you'll see a lot more coming from me as well.
Of course you will, because you're amazing and you do all that wonderful stuff, and you're putting that out there, and it's so phenomenal. So what we'll do is we'll actually put the links below on the Facebook post, and we'll push this out, podcast and everything else, because I want people to know about Underground Railroad. We've heard about those as well, and they're such phenomenal organizations, because it's not just talking about something; it's actually going and doing it. And it's not one of these organizations are not places where they put all the money towards administrative costs and private jets. No, they actually put it to work on the ground, saving lives. Exactly.
It's exactly true. And I want to see if I can get some of the it's Operation Underground Railroad.
Yep.
That would be, and there's ourrescue.org, which is where you go, ourrescue.org. Just want to get their website. So they release children, they rescue children from sex trafficking all around the world, and anyone can get involved.
Amazing. So I want to respect your time today, so I only have a couple more questions for you, but one of them is a very secret question, because this is the Revolution Health Network, okay?
Yes.
And I've watched your Periscope from gyms, from exercise places underground, it looked like.
Yeah.
So give everyone that's going to be listening to this and watching this, and I know you actually have a little bit of secret from a health standpoint too, because I know you've changed dietary things and stuff like that. Give us a little secret to reveal. That's right. Give us a little background on your, not necessarily healing journey, but your health background, because you take pretty good care of yourself, and I know you are a celebrity, you are a rock star, you travel, you're back and forth, East Coast, West Coast. What do you do health-wise? Because I know you have some secrets there.
It's a great question. I love talking about health. So that's one of the things I want to start bringing back in, because before I was known as a political activist and a humanitarian, and even more than even when I was just sort of struggling with my music career, I was doing daily periscopes about veganism, because I am a vegan. I've been a vegan for 13 years now, and before that I was a vegetarian, and I turned vegetarian at about 12 or 13 years old. And it was a decision I made because I saw I didn't like the way meat affected my body, so I went vegetarian. And then I said, well, let me test being vegan, and then my acne cleared up. I had a lot of like mucus, that totally cleared up. Body tightened up, had more energy, woke up refreshed, realized I'm lactose intolerant. So I'm like, okay, great, easy to be vegan then. And I've maintained being vegan, drinking a lot of water. And I'm on a high protein diet because I like to build muscle. So I do a lot of pea protein, rice protein, as well as products made with those, quinoa, beans. And I actually got so into health and fitness that I've always worked out, a lot, been very, very active, and won medals in track in high school. I actually became a bodybuilder. I became a bikini bodybuilder, and I won 2 trophies, third and fourth place in my first competitions. So, and those are just different, like they're amateur bodybuilding, but I was able to build so much muscle that as a vegan. And so I said, well, shoot, I know a lot about this. And then I went on to get my nutritional certificate. So I got certified by Personal Training Institute as a nutritionist. So that's just something that I love to do, like just being able to look into it and know what I'm eating and know what vitamins are affecting me. I mean, I do a lot of calcium, magnesium. I take a really good multivitamin, eat tons of fresh vegetables, fresh fruit, lots of water, stay active. I'm in the gym twice a day right now because I'm preparing for all these things that are coming up and photo shoots. So cardio, weightlifting, there's no magic bullet. It's really just eating very well and also not drinking. I don't drink alcohol, and I do drink a lot of coffee, but coffee's good for you. So yeah, health is number one. If you don't take care of your body, then it won't take care of you. Like, I want to live a long, healthy life, and I want to look good without plastic surgery. So I know when I sleep 8 to 9 hours a night and I drink water and I eat my protein and go to the gym, I will look beautiful for podcasts and interviews like this. So that's really the secret.
Absolutely. And check Joy out on her Facebook page, Instagram, everything else, because she will occasionally do some poses for the camera, and she has an amazingly fit body. She looks fantastic. So the coffee is working for you.
It's working. It's working. I love showing out. You got to be confident too. You got to be confident no matter what stage you're at. But once you get those gains, you got to show it off. And I do it too because so many women are like, "Oh my gosh, I want a booty like yours." I'm like, "Well, squat. You got to lift." It's mostly the women, who really want to see another fit woman because it inspires them. And then I've had guys say, "You inspire me to go into the gym and weightlift, even as a man." So I'm like, I love this. But yeah, you can go to facebook.com/joyvilla to find me.
I love that. And now before we do head out, I want you to promo everything you got. So you have an amazing song, I Make the Static, which drove up the charts like crazy. And then your album was like just huge hit. And once you did the dress, it was like it blew off the charts. You passed Lady Gaga. I mean, come on.
Yes. And I love Lady Gaga. I love those artists. It's like, wow. Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter at @joy_villa. You can find me on Facebook at Joy Villa or at Joy Villa Music, and on YouTube, Miss Joy Villa, MISS. Miss Joy Villa. I got a lot of music videos and almost daily vlogs, and just my different views on things. And my new album, actually, it's called Home Sweet Home. It's a new EP, and it surpassed Taylor Swift on the charts just recently. So it's called Home Sweet Home, and then the original I Make the Static. So I really appreciate it if anyone wants to pick that up. I'm an independent artist, and I can bring my music direct to you, no middleman, and I get to keep the profits. It's a beautiful thing to own your own business, isn't it, Jason?
Absolutely. And she passed Tay she passed Tay on the charts, so she must be really good. And before we go though, you have a music video out there that's phenomenal, which is Make America Great Again. And just really briefly, tell us like a little bit behind that, because I watched it and I was very moved because I'm seeing all these faces of different types of Americans flash by on there, and that's moving as an American and knowing that we're going to heal. So just give me a quick snippet background on that.
That is, you totally got the message of the video, because that is what it's all about. That's what makes America so great. All our diversity, our healing, our joining together. And I actually took my camera. I videoed each and every one of those people, by the way. And I just said, "Hey, my name is Joy Villa. I'm a singer-songwriter. Do you want to be in my Make America Great Again music video?" And they were like, "Sure." And I just videoed people on the street of New York City. That's New York City because it's such a great, hodgepodge, of everyone. And some of those people are really awesome. Some of them are Trump supporters. Some of them are, right-leaning. Some of them are left-leaning. Some of them are Hillary supporters. Some of them are whatever. They're all different types of people. Some of them I don't even know who they support, but they are Americans, and that's the whole message. And I say, we can heal. We can come back twice as strong. And I'm wearing my Make America Great Again dress. I really believe that's the whole message of where we're moving forward. And we are growing as a nation. Things are getting better, not worse. And I'm so happy about that. So that music video is off my new album, Home Sweet Home. So you can see it.
Go pick it up. Excellent. Well, Joy, I appreciate your time. Again, very honored to have you on. You are amazing. I'm listening to your music now. You're changing the world, and thank you for giving so much value. I mean, thank you for giving so much healing words to everyone listening, and how this goes out the podcast, because this goes global now. We are for the first time that we know in human history able to get all of this information out to anywhere, everyone global. And so Joy, thank you for not only doing it, but taking the responsibility upon yourself to do this globally. So I really appreciate being on the show.
Of course. Thank you, Jason. I'm glad we got together. This is a great show. It's been a pleasure. It's so easy. It's just like talking to a friend. It's easy.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, and have a great one, Joy. I will keep in touch and keep spreading your message. You're doing an amazing job.
Thank you, Jason. God bless you.
You as well. Thank you for joining Revolution Health, everybody. For Joy Villa, we're signing off. You guys have a great one. And again, make America great again from every cultural background and every way of life, every diverse nation, ethnicity, culture. That's what Joy's message is. Go pick up all of her music, all of her videos. She is an amazing person. And we'll talk to you guys soon on the next interview. Have a great day.